Imagine an owl the size of a soda can that sounds like it weighs 20 pounds. How is that even possible? Hey there. Today we're uncovering one of North America's best-kept secrets, the flammulated owl. This tiny master of disguise is so well camouflaged and so secretive that most people have never even heard of it, let alone seen one. Get ready to discover an owl that defies its tiny size in the most surprising ways. And if you're excited to learn about incredible birds like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss another fascinating episode. The flammulated owl, scientifically known as Psiloscops flammeolus, is one of the smallest owls in North America. When we say small, we mean really small. This bird measures just 6 to 7 inches in length, with a wingspan of only 14 inches. To put that in perspective, it's barely larger than a small juice can. Despite its diminutive size, this owl packs some serious surprises that make it one of the most interesting species you'll ever learn about. Let's start with the name. Flammulated comes from the Latin word meaning flame-colored or flame-shaped, referring to the reddish flame-like markings on its wings and body. And here's something fascinating. These owls come in 2 distinct color variations, or morphs. Birds living in the northern parts of their range tend to be grayish, while those in southern regions display more reddish-brown tones. Scientists believe these color differences help the owls blend into their specific surroundings, a natural form of regional camouflage that's absolutely brilliant. Speaking of camouflage, the flammulated owl is a master of staying hidden. Its plumage features an intricate pattern of brown, rust, gray, and black that creates perfect camouflage when the bird perches against tree bark. During the day, these owls press themselves against pine trunks and remain completely motionless. Their mottled pattern makes them virtually invisible, and spotting one during daylight hours is considered a red-letter day for any birdwatcher. It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack, except the needle is deliberately hiding and doesn't want to be found. One of the most distinctive features of the flammulated owl is its eyes. Unlike most small owls that have bright yellow or orange eyes, the flammulated owl has large, dark brown eyes that give it a gentle, almost innocent expression. These dark eyes are actually a key identifying feature that helps distinguish this species from other small owls. The bird also has tiny ear tufts that usually remain flattened against the sides of its head, giving it a more rectangular head shape compared to other owls. Now here's where things get really interesting. Remember we mentioned this owl is tiny? Well, when it calls, you'd swear you were hearing a much larger bird. The flammulated owl produces a remarkably low-pitched hoot, a soft, hollow-sounding whoop or boot that repeats almost endlessly throughout the night. How does such a small bird create such a deep sound? It's all thanks to an unusually large windpipe. This oversized trachea allows the tiny owl to produce vocalizations that sound like they come from an owl 2 or 3 times its size. Why would a small owl want to sound bigger? The answer is simple. Survival. By sounding larger and more intimidating, the flammulated owl can deter potential predators. It's nature's version of bluffing, making yourself seem more dangerous than you actually are. And trust us, this bluff works remarkably well. The call can be maddeningly difficult to locate because it sounds farther away than it actually is, adding another layer of protection through auditory deception. The flammulated owl makes its home in the mountain forests of western North America. You can find this species from southern British Columbia in Canada, through the western United States, and down into Mexico. These owls are habitat specialists, meaning they're very particular about where they live. They prefer mature, open ponderosa pine forests and Douglas fir stands, typically at elevations ranging from 1,000 to 10,000 feet. They also inhabit mixed forests that include aspen, oak, white fir, and incense cedar. What makes these forests perfect for flammulated owls? Several things. First, they need large old trees with cavities for nesting. These owls don't excavate their own holes. Instead, they rely on cavities previously created by woodpeckers, particularly pileated woodpeckers and northern flickers. Sometimes they'll use natural cavities of appropriate size. The nests are completely bare with no nesting material whatsoever, just the raw wood inside the cavity. Second, these forests need to have an open canopy structure with some dense pockets of vegetation. The open areas are perfect for hunting, while the dense patches provide protective cover where the owls can roost safely during the day. Ridgetops and hillsides are particularly favored because the openness allows their calls to carry across the landscape, helping males establish territories and attract mates. Here's what makes the flammulated owl truly unique among North American owls: its diet. While most owls are versatile predators that eat everything from rodents to birds to insects, the flammulated owl is an insect specialist. We're talking about an owl that feeds almost entirely on bugs. Its diet consists primarily of moths, crickets, and beetles, with moths alone making up a huge portion of its meals. Occasionally, very rarely, it might catch a small shrew or mouse, but insects are the name of the game for this tiny hunter. The hunting technique is fascinating to observe. The flammulated owl forages by perching on a branch and watching intently for movement. When it spots an insect, it flies out to catch it, sometimes snatching prey right out of the air, sometimes plucking insects off pine needles or branches, and occasionally grabbing them from the ground. The owl often hovers momentarily, like a tiny helicopter, while reaching out with its feet to grab the insect from foliage. It's precise, efficient, and perfectly adapted to catching small, fast-moving prey. This insect-based diet has a major consequence for the flammulated owl's lifestyle. It must migrate. Unlike many owl species that remain in their territories year-round, the flammulated owl is highly migratory. When winter arrives and insects become scarce or disappear entirely in the northern mountains, these owls head south. Every fall, they migrate to Mexico and Central America, where insects remain abundant throughout the winter months. Then, in spring, they make the long journey back north to their breeding grounds. This makes the flammulated owl one of the most migratory owls in North America. The migration strategy is clever too. In spring, when insects may still be scarce at high elevations, the owls tend to migrate through lowland areas where bugs are more available. In fall, they migrate through the mountains where insect populations are still strong before the hard freeze sets in. Breeding season begins when males arrive at their territories in late spring. Males establish territories by singing persistently, often from the tops of tall trees where their calls can carry long distances. Interestingly, unlike most owls that are solitary nesters, flammulated owls sometimes nest in loose colonies. One observation group once documented 47 singing males along just 5 miles of road. While each pair maintains its own territory, there can be multiple nesting pairs relatively close together, a rare social structure for owls. Once a pair bonds, the female selects a cavity and lays 2 to 4 white or creamy white eggs. Incubation lasts 21 to 24 days and is performed entirely by the female. During this time, the male's job is to hunt and bring food to his mate at the nest. After the chicks hatch, the female stays with the nestlings for about 12 days, continuing to rely on the male for food. After that initial period, both parents hunt to feed their growing family. The young owls leave the nest about 25 days after hatching, but they're not independent yet. Here's where it gets really interesting. The brood often splits up after fledging, with each parent taking responsibility for 1 or 2 of the youngsters. Each parent then continues to care for their assigned young for about another 4 weeks until the owlets can hunt successfully on their own. It's a fascinating division of labor that ensures each young owl gets adequate attention and feeding. Life isn't always easy for the flammulated owl, though. Despite being predators themselves, they face threats from larger owls, particularly great horned owls, which will hunt roosting flammulated owls or raid their nests for eggs and chicks. Hawks can also pose a threat, especially to young birds. On the ground, mammalian predators like raccoons, squirrels, and weasels may raid accessible nests. Even snakes can be nest predators in some areas. The owl's best defense is its incredible camouflage and secretive behavior. By remaining motionless and pressed against tree bark during the day, and by nesting in cavities high above the ground, the flammulated owl reduces its risk significantly. Its dark coloration and flame-like patterns break up its outline so effectively that even when you're looking right at one, your eyes might not register it as a bird at all. Currently, the flammulated owl is classified as a species of least concern, meaning it's not considered immediately threatened. However, there are some factors worth noting. These owls are habitat specialists that require old-growth or mature forests with large cavity trees. The commercial value of ponderosa pine and Douglas fir means these forests are often targeted for logging, which can reduce available habitat. When dead trees are removed for firewood or cleared as hazards, the owls lose potential nesting sites. Interestingly, the relationship between fire and flammulated owls is complex. While intense fires can destroy habitat, low-intensity fires can actually be beneficial. They create snags, standing dead trees, and open up forest structures, potentially increasing both nesting sites and foraging opportunities. The owls evolved in landscapes where natural fires were a regular occurrence, so they're adapted to a certain level of disturbance. One of the reasons the flammulated owl remained little known for so long is simply because it's so difficult to observe. Before modern recording and playback equipment became available to researchers, and before people learned to recognize their calls, these owls were thought to be extremely rare. In reality, they can be quite common in suitable habitat. They're just masters at staying hidden. Even today, with all our technology, finding one during the day requires patience, luck, and a very sharp eye. The oldest known flammulated owl in the wild lived to be at least 7 years old, though individuals probably live longer when they successfully avoid predators and find good habitat. When you consider the incredible journey these birds make twice every year, flying thousands of miles between North America and Central America, 7 years represents a remarkable number of successful migrations and breeding seasons. One particularly endearing quality of the flammulated owl is its tolerant nature. While not tame by any means, these birds don't seem to fear humans as intensely as many other wild birds do. They've been known to nest relatively close to human activity, and often allow careful observers to approach more closely than you'd expect. This tolerance has made them favorites among wildlife photographers and researchers, though it's always crucial to maintain respectful distances and never disturb nesting birds. The flammulated owl reminds us that nature is full of surprises. Who would expect an owl the size of a juice can to survive entirely on insects? Who would imagine such a tiny bird could produce such a deep, resonant call? And who would guess that something so small makes one of the longest migrations of any owl in North America? Every aspect of this species showcases the incredible adaptability and specialization that evolution can produce. Isn't the flammulated owl absolutely amazing? This tiny bird with the giant voice proves that incredible things really do come in small packages. If you enjoyed discovering this hidden gem of North America's forests, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We've got countless more fascinating birds to explore together. Give this video a thumbs up if you learned something new today, and let us know in the comments which bird species you'd like us to feature next. We've got another incredible bird waiting for you in our next video, so stick around and keep exploring the amazing world of birds with us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.